Welcome,
welcome.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Revenge of the Sixth. This is our all-request booth tour. You get to control where we go. The Unsealed and Revealed team of Terry Smith, Paul Hernandez, and myself are here to help you. You tell us what you want to see, and we're going to deep dive into anything and everything you want to do. So, Paul, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully. I will be here taking all of your guys' requests, whatever you guys would like to see, let us know in the chats, and we are going to do our best to get to every single item. Now, I'm assuming we are going to have time to get to everything, maybe even double back to some items. So again, if we don't get to your item right up front, stick around. I'm sure we'll get to it because it's not like we have to fight Guy off with all this. He's there by himself, and he gets to just have the run of the land there.
Exactly. I've been asleep here in the booth every night, so I haven't left.
I know. That's all right. Yeah, we're going to need you to leave soon. But not today.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm good, man. I've been cradling this thing all week long. This has just been my thing. It's been it's kind of like a security blanket / pacifier or whatever. It's my power animal. Sort of thing.
I think
looks good on you.
With May the 4th and now all of Star Wars Fan Week, it's a chance for us to realize just how often Star Wars is part of our everyday life. Whether we wind up quoting it or whether we try and force push our cart at the shopping center or whatever. In fact, Terry told me an incredible story. I really would like him to tell the audience now. Please tell us that story, Terry.
Yeah, I actually went to Lowe's yesterday, and I was just walking through the parking lot. I didn't even get in the store. I realized, I don't really need anything from Lowe's today. So I turned around and was walking back to my car. And as I walked past, was walking through the parking lot, there was a guy who'd just gotten out of his car, shut the door, and he said to somebody he'd left in the car, "Lock the door." And without even missing a beat, I replied, "And hope they don't have blasters."
And that's what
not
I
even
love.
an actual reply, is it? I mean, I just kind of interjected myself into that whole conversation.
I think that in the world of Star Wars quotes, you're allowed to do that. You can throw those in as often as you like. Even if it's something like a Tiwaliwanga or a UTD. I think as long as it's Star Wars, you can do that. So
yeah.
Well, Terry, you and Paul have been watching. You have been watching, I know, the past few days. But I haven't had a chance to ask you, Terry, what did you like most? What do you want to check out? Because I know you're not physically here with me.
Clone Wars.
All right. Well,
I'm pretty stoked about those animated Clone Wars things.
I think that was definitely a foot down. So,
Didn't see it coming.
Why don't we begin right there? Let's take a walk over and take a look at our Anakin and Obi-Wan from Clone Wars. These are all new 1/6 scale figures by Sideshow. I'm going to try and do like we do on our show, where we're going to do a little head to toe all the way down. First up is, you'll notice these are a lean and thin body, very much like the animation. In fact, original animation art as well as original animation files were used to create these. So they are the exact way they look in the show. That's why you get those tight angles on the best beard in the galaxy. Obi-Wan's there. I tend to really like Anakin's side profile. The way in which they did the nose in the show, it's such a really unique idea. Now, I do have the figures on risers, and so it might be a little difficult to know right off the bat that the Anakin is taller than the Obi-Wan, of course, as it should be and as it is in the show.
Yep.
I'm going to turn those around so you can see that a little bit better, but see how tall and lean the Anakin is. All right. As I said, they went through, had all the original files, all the animation to go with. So that meant that the uniforms, the costumes are going to look exactly the way they did in the show. Particularly the portraits are going to look exact. One thing that gets me is Anakin's eyes, and so I'm going to actually kind of throw a little bit more light myself up here for you to see.
Cool.
Just how piercing those are. Now, Paul,
wow.
please interject with any of the fan questions as we're going along, so I make sure that I am getting it. But if there's something particular about these guys, I do want to obviously give you a head to toe on them.
Yeah, I 100%. So the big question right now that everyone is asking is about the body type and whether or not these are or are not double jointed. Guys, these are prototypes. So I'm going to tell you right now, we do not have that information for you right now at this moment. But again, I can go ahead and drop some links for you all there. And there is the short link that is on screen. And you can go ahead and go to the product page there and RSVP for them.
Now, Paul, I have been updated by the design team on these. I talked with them earlier this morning because I had a feeling that that would be a question that we got asked a lot. Now, this is a new style of body. It's been a modified body to give it that length, to give it that height and all. As far as the articulation points, you're going to have those standard articulation points, and up on the elbow as well as the knee, you are going to have that double jointed aspect on them. Okay, I don't have them posed here with a double joint showing it off, but they will be doing that. Okay, so you will have that, and if you kind of take a look at the armor gauntlet that Obi-Wan has here, you see that kind of cut in there that will allow for it to go a little bit past the 90 on that. While we're up on there, I want to turn it around to show when we talked about the animation style on there, that they're not a rounded type of finger, okay? You see those there, and it's got that kind of square block that was part of the animation. And I really, really think that's fun. Getting something that's the animation style is pretty spectacular. Now the painting style, it mimics that crisp, bright style that the series had. On it. I also want to draw some attention to the lightsabers you see. Now, this is a new version of the lightsabers. This is more in tune with what the show was. As you see, they do have that kind of pointed end here on the tip of those as well. And I'm going to turn it there so you get a better look at that. Look at the hair on this. I'm obviously envious of any of the characters that have hair. We've yet to see a 1/6 scale Lobot, but that's definitely something I'm hoping for. Sam's got a great view of the eyes here. I love the pierce of Anakin's and Obi-Wan's eyes on these. I'm going to kind of hit the light a little bit on that. So, as I said, because they had access to any and all of the files, these are exact to what is in the show, all right? It's absolutely exact. That the 3D rendering, the 3D design, the 3D modeling that they did is exact here. So this allows you to finally have the figures. I know that people have been begging to have an animated style. It's something I constantly see popping up. And so that is there. I love it. Terry? Yes. This was the one you really wanted to see. So do you have anything else you want me to talk to you about other than obviously the envious I'm right in the room with them that you've got?
No, I'm letting pictures are worth 1,000 words, even 1,000 of your words, guy.
Exactly.
And it's looking really good.
Take a look at like Obi-Wan's boots, and again, that animation style is what sets that show apart. Not only obviously the stories, but the style of it is so different. And to get to see that in a 3D form like this, in a posable, not just a statue or a maquette or something like that, but to see it in a 3D format, I am really excited about that, and I'm curious to see where we'll go.
I can actually tell you, Guy, I actually kind of fibbed a little bit. I just kind of cheated because I wanted to see two things, and you asked me for one. In reality, my most anticipated thing on the whole stage that you're standing on right now is immediately to your right.
You mean this young lady here?
Oh, that's the one.
The Ahsoka Tano. This is spectacular, and I absolutely know that she is. In fact, it was you that really got me into Clone Wars. Terry introduced me to it. Obviously, it had been around a long time, but I missed them when they first started. So I had to play catch up, and he was the one that really talked in depth about her character with me, and you've definitely enlightened me on why she's so monumentally important. So now I also get really, really excited when I see this. I love the multiple uses of angles in this. What I mean by that is that crumbling base kind of up in a curve. You can see the motion of the crumble going on here.
Yeah.
Her lunging forward, turn to the side. In the world of Terry Smith and posing, there's not an articulation pointer of movement section that you are not seeing.
No, everything's been hit, man. There's even
Everything's
a bit of a
been hit. That twist.
Yeah, man.
There's a view of the back. I'm going to slowly turn them around.
When I saw this, my dogs were scattering to get out of my way as I dashed to my computer and make that order happen. I was completely blindsided by this. I did not know it was coming at all, and I'm so jazzed about it. It's
this is another one where the paint technique on here is another great one, particularly up here on what is so unique to Ahsoka. You're not having just, two very crisp block, that there is that slow fade between the two. It's not a bright white. Or the use down here, where it has that almost leather-like hand-tooled, carved-in leather work there. I love that. And I do like, and I'm sure you do too as a guitar and rock enthusiast, I love this hand pose.
Throwing those horns.
You gotta love that she does it. What I think is neat, her style of fighting was very, very different. Holding the lightsabers backward like that, having one in each hand.
One in an offensive hold and the other in a defensive.
Exactly,
position.
and again with the force push. I want to jump back to the other characters we just looked at that you wanted me to see, which was the Anakin and the Obi-Wan Clone Wars.
Oh, are we going to go back to those guys?
I just want to quickly say a few more things on them. Yes, this is obviously our early prototype on them. However, so what accessories they are going to have is still being finalized, but they will have their tunics and things like that. Okay, so you will have a lot of different options. They will not just come with the sabers like that. Okay. They're still finalizing, but you're going to have a lot that these guys come with, as they should.
I'm not going to conjecture and I'm not going to ask. I have ideas, but I'm anxiously awaiting the end result.
I think that's always something we do is the what will they come with? Oh, what could they come with? That's I know you and I that we've had that discussion a number of times. Wouldn't it be neat if so and so came with such?
It's always behind the scenes.
Exactly.
We never discuss it publicly. It's just like,
exactly. Those are the behind the scenes conversations you people don't have. Yes, that's right. We don't talk about toys for just 1 hour. Terry and I talk about toys all day long.
No, in fact, Guy frequently calls me on his way home from doing the show, and we talk.
We talk even further. So it's really a 3-hour show for Terry because he gets to listen to me drive all the way back. But back to Ahsoka.
Guy, if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can hear me. So we've got some requests coming live to you from Cloud City. We've got some requests because this is our fan request show.
Yes.
Now, you guys are driving. It's like The Sims, but Guy is showing you all the things that you absolutely love. They want to see that incredible Darth Vader PF. If you don't mind leaving the light side for a second.
Not a problem.
I'm down with that.
I feel the dark side calling. And what better way to do and let's take a look at the Vader Premium format.
Yes.
This is an incredible look at the figure. We have seen Darth Vader in premium format, in large scale statue and things like that before. This is one of my favorite. There is a windswept feel to it, that he's somewhere where you're getting those winds, as you kind of see in the fold of the pant, that it's whoosh going through. Having that wire around the base and in the under and the tabard, as well as the outer cape, having the ability to do that. I like that this is early in what I'll call the world of Vader, where we had him in New Hope, when we first introduced him in '77, where he had that tabard over the armament, over his shoulder and, shall we say, kind of the chest piece. I always liked that. I thought it was very different that that's what he chose to do. And I like that they've stuck with that. And we have the chest plate, as we know, that changed a little as well. I like that there is the weathering and the beat aspect around the controls and around the belt there. This is not perfect. We know Vader to be a fighter. And I love that on there. Isn't he great? And a Mustafar Castle
really,
base.
really cool. I really dig, and I'm just coming from my perspective and from my area of, from what I'm, I guess, known for. But just looking at the pose, I just love what the, I always describe like that C curve that I like to create when I'm
yes,
doing
exactly.
pose.
Nailed it. I have a feeling that the sculptors may have watched a few of the How to Be a Poser shows.
I doubt that.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to stick with that until I'm told otherwise. They're fans of the show. They watch it and say, you know what? We should do a twist on the track there.
Guy, I got some more breaking news from Cloud City. Sorry, I know you're a big Vader fan, but we're going to need you to hop on over to, not Goro. His name is General Grievous.
Oh, that guy.
Grievous
yeah,
now.
I know that guy. He's right over here. Let's walk on over. Let's walk on over.
Look at that. Wow.
And Paul, please interject anytime. You fans, I of course do not hear you screaming and asking the questions, so I have to rely on Paul. So please, Paul, interject and interrupt me all day long. Here we have it. Paul, before I dive in and talk a little bit about it, are there specific questions people want me to talk about with this?
I think people are, of course, wondering, because it is coming out a little sooner, is this a reissue of an older Sideshow figure? They are curious to that, of course. So
all right.
I am being told, and again, maybe Guy, because you can speak so much more eloquently than I can, if you maybe want to tackle that question, if you can.
Well, I'm going to get a thesaurus so I can have even more words, but I will try and talk my best about this one here. Okay, first up, Grievous was introduced into the 6th scale realm with Sideshow in 2013, okay? We are quite a few years past that. When you're asked, is this a reissue? I'm going to say in part it is a reissue, but it is improvements in many, many ways. They have improved the paint on the face, particularly around the eyes, to give it more life and more depth. I'm going to try and move out of the way here and let Sam get as close as he can. If I need to come in with additional lighting to show you, I will. Inside the chest, Grievous had a very, very unique look. And so the chest area there has also been done to an even more screen accurate paint. Next up, an improvement is on the cape. Okay, it is now done. Has a textured outer gray that you're going to see. I'm going to kind of flip over here that you can see that. I'm waiting for Sam, my cameraman, to kind of nod when he sees, but as you can see, that's done. Inside, the inner red is going to be done with that diamond-like pattern. Okay, depending on how you have the lighting in the room, if it's a really bright room in your house, it may just appear to be full deep red, but it has been put in there, which is the way it was in the film. Next up, and probably most important, and things people are really concerned about, is its posability, joints, and things like that. Those have all been updated, looked at, retweaked. The design team went back and looked at anything and everything that people said about the original release and said, how can we make this better? And if they could, they did. Okay, so that is in there. We have him displayed with the 4 arms out. Okay, I do want to move to the side because you don't want to see me, you want to see Grievous. But you will be able to remove those arms and switch in the single arm as well. The cape will also be removable. I myself, I do have the early 2013 one. And I have mine displayed without the cape. I love when he has his battle with Obi-Wan and he drops that thing and it's like a bring it. And then, of course, Obi-Wan seems relatively confident, and then 4 lightsabers came out. Confidence level goes down a little bit on that. And so I like it like that. But, of course, that also gives you those display options. Sam's going to do his best to kind of zoom in a little bit on the different points of articulation and then the joints. This is not your standard human body that we have in a 6 scale figure. So of course the joints are different. But you do have a lot of posability. Inside each of the hands is a magnet, and that helps to hold in those lightsabers. All 4 of the lightsabers here are in the ignited mode, but you will also have them in the hilt mode as well. All right, so you'll be able to display them however you like. On the inside of the cape, he also has his pockets. Lift there. We can kind of see right there that he has pockets.
Even Grievous
Look at that.
Yep, and that is so he can add them to his collection. Not only can you add Grievous to your collection, he adds lightsabers to his. So all of the joints on here are much tighter, a much more sturdy aspect to them, so you're really going to be able to hold those poses. I know that that's something that's come up in chats or questions about this particular figure is, are those joints going to be tight? And they are. They are a nice, tight joint on these.
Now, Guy, before we leave General Grievous for the next fan request, we are wondering, because we got a little more flexibility today. Also, folks, I do hear you guys in the chats. I hope I'm a little bit louder now. A little bit louder now.
Hey.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Hey.
thank you. All right, feeling good today up here in Cloud City. Guy, can you answer maybe 2 questions? One, cameraman Sam, if that's you there, can we maybe look at the back of Grievous, if possible?
We are going
Thank
to do
you,
that.
nodding
Let me.
yes.
I'm going to talk with Sam about the best way that Sam
so
can go about.
agreeable.
We're going to gingerly walk through.
Look at Alan.
As you can see, we have a
directing
lot
there.
of members of the dark side to deal with. So I'm going to walk away to the side and allow him to come in.
So much
Nice.
Star Wars. Look at that.
All right.
And then,
Now this
Guy,
is,
if you
lets you see
could,
that texture
in
on the
your-
back.
In your best estimation here, does that cape look wired? Is something that people are asking.
All right, that's
Wired on
the
the
next
bottom.
question. So let me
Yes.
show you on here. As you can see, I have quite a bit of posability. As far as a wire, no. However, because this is a thicker cape, you see that there is that, I'm going to turn this here. You have that red, and if you're seeing the texture there, then you're going to have that trim there, and then you have the thicker over it. I'm going to do this very gently, but as you can see, when you open the cape, you have that symbol.
Oh, that's
And the emblem that's on there. Now, that emblem is what you saw on the box art as well. All right.
right.
So you see how that is. And this is a new type of stand that is also a much more durable stand, allowing for even more posability. But as far as a wire in it, no. I'm not sure I would have wanted it with a wire. It definitely, of course, is something that you sometimes use, but I do like that kind of natural draping that it has. And if we remember, Grievous doesn't really wear his cape all that often. So I'm okay with that.
Just to flex, I think.
I was just thinking about that. What happens if he gets caught in a battle without his cape and he doesn't have his lightsabers in his pockets? That's,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Now,
there you go on that.
Now, Guy, the
Yes, sir.
show must roll on, my friend.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Next.
folks are wondering if we could take a look at the Echo 6 scale from the Bad Batch.
Is there an echo in here?
Yes. We can do that, and we will. I'm sorry, folks. I'm obviously pretty darn excited today. So here we have Echo. Probably we're a few days into it now, so my bet is now that we are in the 6th, people have had about 48 hours in order to watch this show, unless you stayed up and watched it right at 12:01, which I know quite a few people did. I love the look of this. Right here, we see that undersuit. Okay. What I'm liking, and this is all just merely on observation, when you look at that, this is not looking like it's so tight and snug. It looks like I'm going to have quite a bit of posability. That pauldron that is up on the right, you see that we do have that elastic strap there. If you've seen when I do any of the troopers, I like that I can kind of lift that out of the way in order to do the pose. So I'm excited about that. I love the chest plate here. I love having the skull on the front. What I think is unique about these guys being kind of stealthy and covert ops, whether they did it themselves or whether they got it this way, that it is darker armor that when it scratches doesn't have, areas of dark or black or metal, but the kind of white, which now, Terry, you're much more familiar with Clone Wars. We never see these guys kind of like making their own suits.
No.
Or anything like that. So
they just came pre-assembled, so to speak.
This just allows us to think that. And if we look at Hunter, and we'll have Sam come up and do one a little bit later, and you look at the back of his helmet, you see the wear and the rub off of that. So to me, it's as though they painted their own. Echo, if you see, and I know there are product links and more product photos on the website, you see all of the different arms that you can swap out.
Yeah.
Here as well as
I'm really jazzed about the implications.
I think that's neat. In fact, Terry, there were arms in there I didn't know if I'd seen used in the show yet. So maybe
you haven't. Yeah,
maybe we're getting a little bit of a tease on what we might get to see him do with that. We also saw in those photos that it has the portrait of Echo. He's probably my favorite in the characters of the clones. His story and what goes on with him and why he feels the way he does. With that, just the episode that introduced kind of the characters and dove into him, to me was really pretty great. And so I like having the one where you see the implements that have been put onto his head and such. So this is a great one. And I also like the kind of the fabric waistcoat down there as well. Totally dig on it.
The comma?
Yeah, I mean, this is just such a neat look. And we'll this is what I was talking about what we see up in Hunter here, where it looks as though it's kind of been rubbed.
Wow.
What we'll do is we're going to have Sam stand up. Sam is really doing a lot of calisthenics today. He's having kneel, squat, sit, and such, but see them from behind so you can take a look. This is going to let you see those backpacks that they have a little bit better. Much chunkier pack in that. Again, that wear on there. This does show you here. You get that undersuit that I was talking about, giving us a lot of play, and so we don't have as much restricted movement. Even here around the leg and knee area. I think we're going to have a lot of flexibility and posability in these than we have in a lot of the standard style TK versions of troopers that we've seen before. I'm really liking it. I mean, this is Hunter with the helmet. I believe that they are going to, if we've done Echo without one, I'm going to bet that Hunter has a reveal as well. But I love this idea here where the paint is rubbed off. Like I said, giving me the idea that these guys sat around and decided to darken them up, but they still put on
what else you
their
got
logos.
Well, hey, Guy, we have gotten some requests in now to see the Rancor. Now, we had a very specific question that I think people are asking because this is a different size. If we have any 6 scales lying around Sideshow at all, who knows? Could we maybe have a size comparison?
Okay, do I have a 6 scale? Do I have a 6 scale in my pocket?
Oh, look at that!
It's important to always have one in your pocket. So what I'm going to do is I wanted to
be very careful. Head over to the Rancor now.
Okay, I'm going to do this very slowly, as not to. I don't know. Is it sight? Is it smell? How does he know we're here? But here we go. So as I spoke yesterday, and you may be aware of the massive statue that we have, the very tall version of the statue of the Rancor that comes in at about 24 to 26 inches, I believe, on that one. This is a 16-inch on this here. It does come on the dark base as well. That intense paint scheme and that attention to detail has been done here as well, just in the smaller scale. Okay, we're having that in the mouth area and such. Because I said he's 16, but crouched over. I'm also referring to the base. Lando being 12. Does anybody, I would love for somebody in the chats to chime in on this. When Lando was in this skiff disguise, he went by a different name. I did ask that the other day when I was down at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood. No one there knew it, but if somebody can rattle it off, and I know Terry and Paul, you do know the answer to it, so let me know if they do get it. But you have that wet around the nostrils. You see that bright around the eyes. What I'm going to do is pull a little more light into the eyes that you do see that beady aspect of it.
No, Guy, we are getting flooded with what I believe is the correct answer, just Tom Tell Screech.
Well, yes, it is. I love you fans. I love that you know that. I think that's a great name for a pet, or if a newborn. If you're thinking what name, I think that's one that you've got, that you should definitely put in the rotation. But again, as I talked about here, is just the work bringing that lifelike quality to it. You do have those matte and flat colors of the skin, the incredible paintwork done up here in what I would kind of refer to as that armadillo back that goes all the way around those plates that drop all the way down, and the texture that they've done it. I like on the side shoulder, what I guess we'll call the pauldrons. It's one that I like to say, I just love that word. But we normally think about that armament, but it does have the bone through. On the right hand, you are going to have that gauntlet, the shattered wristlet that he had there, ready to go, and a little more open other hand.
Now, Guy's job is never done. Guy, I know you love him, but we've got to move on. We've got to, people are asking, they want to see Queel, if possible.
Oh, yes. All right, let's take a look at some Ugnaughts. We're going to jump over. I love this guy. I obviously collect 12-inch and 6-scale figures, but I like when they're the smaller, your R2-D2s and your Jawas and ones in different varied sizes. He's beautiful. He's definitely one that you've wanted. Things I want to point out on the figure, and as you see, this is the prototype. So what he will be coming with, and more information will be coming further in the future. So please make sure to be following us here and in all of the Sideshow channels, because believe me, the minute that there's any information about this one, we will let you know.
I'm really dying to look at what's behind him too.
Yes, and while Sam is there again in one of those crouch positions that we talked about, we've added a little bit of light, and I want you to see the eye on the blurg, that it does have that fish-like eye. This is not a standard kind of a all black eye, that it does have that very, very lifelike look to it. As I said, I'm going to go with a fish or amphibian-esque eye on that. The wet mouth on there. Now, there is Queel from the back that we are seeing here. You can see his backpack as well, with a bit of the elements he uses there. It's possible maybe he'll come with one of the little darts that he uses for the blurg, but we do know that he will sit on the blurg. Okay, yes. On the pre-orders, and I am sure, Paul, my goodness, that you were having to drop links like crazy. But if you did not get the original Mando, this one here, now is your chance again. Okay, you can get him with the blurg. You can get him in the deluxe set here. If you have the original Mando, but you go, gosh darn it, I love that blurg. He's also sold separately. One of my favorite terms from early 70s toys in the Star Wars world that I collected. That you do have that. And then, of course, you can have your Queel sit atop him. In the bridle and saddle that you see on it, you're going to see those actual metal clasps that are on there. Mm-hmm. Okay, that are around the mouth, but are also on the saddle itself. Right, that are up on there. So you will be able to remove the character, and you will have a lot of opportunity on that. I do want to have Sam swing around the back again as we were, because I do want to show off the skin texture, the skin paint application all the way down that is on the character. I am going to take Mando's cape and move it off a little bit so you can see just how much detail there is on there. Now this, of course, is going to be having that incredible rock base, but I do know that the front arms are articulated. That is in the description that you see on there as well.
Oh, you know, Guy, and
Yes?
before we move on, we've got a question that I don't have the exact answer for, but Guy may be able to help a little bit.
Okay.
What would you say from the foot of the blurg to maybe the top of Mando's head? About how tall is that, would you say?
Or in other words, will it fit in the DTOF?
Perhaps I have a feeling that is going to be the question, and right off the bat, I'm going to say no. It is not going to fit in the detail, also because of how wide. I'm actually going to say that it's head to toe, as well as top to bottom, are about the same, and I am going to say we are probably at about 22 to 24 inches. Obviously, having his weapon at a little bit, we're a little bit higher. If you do have the Tauntaun, the Sideshow on the Tauntaun, remember any of the creatures like that are going to be those size. So yeah, we're at probably just a little under 2 feet. I'm looking around at some of the Mythos figures that I know are running in that 24. 22 realm, and this is about the same.
Mission accomplished, Guy. I think you might have sold me on this.
All right.
I was kind of on the fence with it, but just the enormity of it in and of itself.
Terry, you know, gosh darn it, I'm going to keep poking until you get it, because then I don't want later on down the road you get very mad that I have something that you don't have.
Right.
And which is rare, because Terry, his laundry list of figures rivals few. It is incredible. So, but this is a really incredible piece to get a creature from the Star Wars galaxy is spectacular, but to also get an opportunity to get that figure. This is one of my absolute favorite figures. The introduction of the Mandalorian in the original episode. You don't want to be without it. If you're kicking yourself saying, "Why did I wait? Why did I wait?" Don't wait again. Make sure.
You know, it's definitely the weirder side of Star Wars, and I think that there are a few things even on that remarkable table that you're standing next to that represent the purest notions of Star Wars to me. As just that really bizarre critter that he's riding. It just feels like something out of a Frank Frazetta painting, or just like old pulp sci-fi artwork.
Yeah, old pulp sci-fi. And I mean, we know that the Star Wars world was influenced by a lot of those early artists, a lot of, Flash Gordon, Frazzetti, and this and the other, and Doug Chiang and them have worked tirelessly, going back to those, and Ralph McQuarrie and everybody who is involved. And I think one of the reasons that The Mandalorian, for me, sticks so well, and I can watch over and over and over, is those nods to the world, and it really does feel pretty inclusive. I luck out, as I said yesterday on the show, being so close that I can actually take my figures to where they made the show. And have them
moving from the classic pulp sci-fi stuff into something a little bit more modern and just a little bit more like Mad Max-ish is that swoop bike that I'm really getting.
Does anybody want to take a look at that, Paul, or are they like, I don't care?
Nobody cares?
No, is that an I don't care?
And they want to see, of course, the swoop bike itself, but something that they haven't seen is behind the swoop bike and some of these other pieces.
Oh, I thought you meant me standing behind it.
You look dashing.
I am a 1 1/4 scale, having eaten a lot of pizzas during Star Wars week. All right, here we go. This is our Mythos Anakin.
Oh, no. I think we were talking about the back of the swoop bike itself.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? Oh, great. That's something I wanted to show off.
Anakin right after, of course.
In our first episode, second season, and he borrows the bike again. He has this slow roll, which Terry can do on his motorcycle, slow roll into town. And it's just such a great shot. And I'm really excited that today I can turn the camera all the way around because you get to tell me what to do and see it from the back. All right. This bike was so neat. I rewatched the scene just of as I said, the slow roll into town last night about 27 times. because I liked it so much. While we're here, if Sam can go a little bit higher, you can also see how far the ears are backward on Grogu.
Yeah.
In a flight-like way. And obviously we saw the smile from the front, that he's loving it. He's having an absolute blast with it. Packs are going to be a soft material. Okay?
Nice.
Cool.
Also, this is how he appears in Season 2, so we know that front armament on the right leg is now a bit of Beskar as well. Have Sam continue to walk with me, and we're going to do a little close-up on the front, if we could, Sam, of the nose cone of the swoop bike. And I want to bring attention to this. Yes, I did a screen capture for myself earlier of this particular piece right here on the show, as you see, like I said, it go into town, and then looked, and that is the identical scratch and wear pattern. It's not just guesstimated, let's gouge it, let's clink the paint off. Nope, that's ridiculously screen accurate.
That's excellent attention to detail.
I also like going down, when we look at the fins of the nose cone, that you can almost see where they've had to hand tighten the screws and bolt the pieces on. This particular bike, I mean, I've loved the speeder bikes, but it has that kind of thrown together look that I'm not exactly sure this came from the factory looking this way, or that it was kind of put together with a number of different parts.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a garage bike.
Oh yeah, exactly, a garage bike. And we'll have Sam move around to the front of it here and get a really nice nose cone shot. You asked about it with the Blurg, and I will say it with this one here. This, as well as the other speeder bike, these were not going to fit in one of those, your standard Detloff.
I just plan on sleeping with it at night.
Because, I'm sure if you just cuddle with the sharp edges there. But no, it is spectacular. I love the long gun lane on the side. Again, watching every aspect of the show with this particular figure in mind today. Here's those bolts that we talked about there. It's great. Paul, any questions further about Swoop Bike and Mando?
Right. Yeah, we had some questions about, if you can, while you're there, let's see what your arm looks like as far as the length of that.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's our unit of measure.
All right.
On the show.
Yeah, I like that we're going to have a unit of measure. If you watch some of our other,
right, guy?
if you watch some of our other sideshow things, you know that certain people are, say, 5'9", and so you can guesstimate the height. And now we're just going to go on what's guy's arm length.
Careful there, guy.
There we go.
Careful.
Okay, we're talking from the tip of my index finger to almost up to my armpit. All right, I'm going to move my arm out. So, all right, there to there. It's a very
okay.
We're talking a good length.
And
all right, we've got from here to here.
Measurement.
This is a longer bike.
I'm going to mail you a measuring tape.
Yeah, I will. This is a longer bike than the speeder.
Wow.
Okay, it's a little longer than the speeder.
Wow.
All right, and again, I think it's that garage style that Terry talked about.
Now, Guy, if we can, let's make sure that we take a look right behind you at those two beautiful Mythos pieces.
The Mythos pieces. Yes, let's jump on into it. These are two of the light side Mythos figures that we are adding to the collection. Mythos is my favorite. Mythos was... when they introduced it, also in 2013, I loved the idea of it. What I like about Mythos is that sense of play. And what I mean by that is when we first got into Star Wars, I'm not sure how long many people have been collecting, but we played with the toys, we played with the figures, and we created our own stories, ones that we hadn't seen. And this is what the artists have been able to do here. Okay?
Look at all the movement in that.
Yes. Again, I really think they watch your show.
The thing of it, you've got it backwards. The thing is that I watch their work and I learn from it.
Oh,
so
well,
I mean, is it something where the two things feed each other? I don't think so.
I believe in the world of Star Wars, we are familiar with the symbiotic relationships of things. So, It's very possible. Up here on your right shoulder, you are going to have that Order of the Jedi on his shoulder piece, and you do see those nicks and cuts. Anakin, as you know, dove headfirst, emotionful into a number of battles. Obviously, he did it here. There, his saber in ignited mode. It's probably been asked, Paul, so I'm going to kind of do it. I'm going to hold a light behind here because I know I'm going to be asked, do the lightsabers light up? They do not, but as you can see, depending on how you have your room lit, depending on how you display your figure, that look of the light of them comes through.
I really dig the like almost flaming effect as it's where the emitter, where the blade is coming out of the emitter.
There's a little bit of that raw energy. We saw that in Kylo's, and we see it here.
That classic movie poster from A New Hope. Right. Just how there's that flare that happens right at the beginning. It's more of a it's less energy and more fire to me. I kind of love that about it.
Yeah. Now you have the scar over the eye, and you also have a little injury there to the cheek. Love the paint application on all of the armament that he wears, even though he wore very little armament, which was different than General Kenobi. The base, this is something that I've loved. The first time I saw that type of paint application was in the lava-like reflection that they did with the Mythos Darth Vader, which was one of the first Mythos pieces. That use of the orange-yellow and the almost Dayglow-esque qualities of paint, I'm going to move that out of the way, really gives that freshly seared by the saber look right through the guts of the super battle droid, as well as there on the arm.
Oh no, there he is. He's back.
Patunk. Are we back?
Oh, I think so.
There we go.
Let me take a look. Let me make sure. 1 second. Yes, looks like we're back.
Okay. Well, the transmission, I'm sorry, folks, is going through an asteroid field. So there might be at
least one asteroid.
At least one asteroid field. But that's what we were talking about just a moment ago about that paint application of what I call the lightsaber cuts. All right. Mm-hmm. I like that it has that. It melted the metal, but it's still raw heat off that. Yep. And that is not only on there, but also on the tube. We see that he took down our battle droid. I love the little right hand up there, gasping his last Roger, Roger breath.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
Exactly. Now,
I mean, pose that hand, not gasp my last Roger, Roger.
Not breath. Gasp your last Roger,
I'm
Roger.
Into that about, so.
Take a look at the paint application in the blue cloak that he has on there. That you do have the edges on there. You also see that we talked about him diving right into battle here. Okay, this is not a clean edge. He's
tread watch.
Yep, he's got it ripped and beaten. Yes, you're gosh darn tootin' there's some tread watch. There we go. Boom. Tread watch. I loved Anakin's boots. Yeah. Anakin's boots to me, I'm not so sure we see too many other Jedi that are doing that. That I love that it has kind of an armament feel made out of leather, a little bit of that medieval armament to his boots there. Now this is the standard portrait, or not necessarily standard, but a determined portrait. He also has a Rage Sith portrait that he will come with. So you do have options, and those come with the whole thing. You get both, okay? There's not a collector and a exclusive on this one here. You will be getting both of those. So it gives you a lot of options.
Now what this puts me in mind of is I just kind of want to like shift a little bit. But can we move on to
Obi-Wan?
Say Aztec Boba?
Aztec Boba. Yes, let's move around to Aztec Boba. I've
been really curious about this. So.
I like what Jesse Hernandez does, and I like the style of where he's going with it. and we've seen it with some of the Marvel and the DC, and I like that he's doing this into the Star Wars world. We see that green, that gold, the chest emblem that it kind of has the teeth and the eyes on it on the front here. We're going to have Sam's going to, in just a moment, bend down a little bit. You see kind of the bird-like Aztec that we're used to, symbolism that we're used to seeing, now brought up onto his rangefinder. And then, of course, I like that it has kind of the teeth, eyes, and nose on the chest plate here. On his jetpack, you also have that look that's almost kind of the monument look, the tiered down around the bases of those. That shoulder pauldron.
That is a great close-up, Sam. Look at that.
Oh, Sam, thank you. Yeah, you can see all of the work and all of the colors. He's gone with a couple of different things in here. Those classic colors that we're used to seeing Boba Fett in, those kind of muted matte greens and the reds, but also done some of that gold and the brighter gold color. You see on the rocket here, he's actually gone with a gloss green as well. And we see over that, cool, all of that look around there. Now, I am going to wave at my producer and find out if I can give you a little show of the backside of the figure here.
Wow.
All right. Take a look at how much detail is brought into that. Even though this thing is under a foot tall, okay, it's about a 6 to 8 inch character, I believe. I believe there might be some product information that Paul sent a link to. It makes a huge statement. This is not the kind of piece that you're going to sit there and no one is going to notice that you have it. It speaks volumes.
It's definitely one that's going to like encourage questions. Yeah, people are going to be curious about it. It's going to stand out in the crowd.
Yes. Any other things I need to answer about this particular guy? Now, he is a vinyl collectible, so he is very, very light.
No, I think we're good. I think we can probably, will you indulge me? And while we're on a Fett trip here, can we move over and look at that new Hot Toys Fett from Mandalorian, the Fett set? Oh,
yes, indeed. McClunky, as our little guy sitting right there, the tiki mug. When you finish your drink, you can actually say the words McClunky. If you have more than a few, Alan and I did have a few blue milks the other day, and we both felt pretty McClunky at the end.
Did you make those blue milks yourself?
I do have a blue milk recipe I'll share in the Let Your Geek Side show group. In fact, maybe I'll do a video that I'll teach you guys how to make a blue milk. We'll have a little dinner party. I'll teach you how to do it. This is one of my favorites. This was an instant pre-order for me. Absolutely. I'm not sure I've moved quicker in the last 2 to 3 years as I did rushing to hit pre-order on this. Now, this is the deluxe, and he has so much going on. Number one, I love the damage that's been done to his suit. Now, we don't know about that.
Been through some stuff.
That's been through some stuff, and we can only hope that with a new show, we might learn a little bit of why it looks quite like that. But I love the look of it. I like the look of the... I like that this is a thicker adult Boba. Okay, this is an older gentleman. He's still one heck of a fighter. Okay?
Yeah.
But I like that this is a bit of the change from the flight jumpsuit with the armor over it that we're used to seeing in the Mandalorian gear. That what you're getting on this is that huge belt, that ammo belt around the side. All right? But I love the pants. Okay? We've got these kind of a baggier pant with the waist coats around them as well.
Yeah, feeling like it's got to be some kind of a linen material in the show.
Yes, I think so. Now, of course, this we see is the under that he is wearing in, and we're going to have Sam turn around, the deluxe that also comes with what I'm calling the Nomad or Wanderer version of Boba, that he does have that underneath. Now, I took a little side trip yesterday because this was my absolute favorite. This is the thing I was hoping would be announced. I took a little side trip and actually stood where he first appears in this outfit yesterday, right after the show. And I'm looking forward to taking the toy and putting him right there. I think I
there a way we
need
can
you
see the
along.
back of Boba?
For somebody who does photo photography like yourself, putting them in the environments is really great. When we look at the Nomad one, I do want to point out that incredible wood grain that he has on that long gun. All right, as well as on the gaffy sticks. We know he has 2 gaffy sticks. Paul, I'm sure by now, has put a link down there. They are doing so many pieces that these characters come with. The gaffy sticks. He's got a busted Stormtrooper helmet. Also, the bases on these guys are custom done, and they are different. Okay, they're not replicated on each one. They're 2 different pieces. Terry.
Hey, Guy.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi. Can you guys?
Hi.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. My
You're back.
the Wi-Fi
We
is not
missed you.
so great up here in Cloud City all the time. No, Guy. We've got a couple of different things that people want to see specifically with these 2 figures.
Mm-hmm.
First, if we could have Super Cameraman Sam maybe pan around the back so we can see the back of these 2 gentlemen here, and then also, Guy, thank you, Sam. If we could,
I like that nod. Do you like the nod?
Just looking at Boba. Would you say, just looking there, how does that jetpack go on?
All right, I am going to guess with this one here. We've seen a couple of different ways in which the pack has been attached to the Boba on our figures. We've seen it both done magnetically as well as 2 small hooks. I'm trying to think if we see the pack in the show, kind of just sitting off on its own. If we did, that might give us a little bit more of an idea on whether or not it would be the other. I'm going to probably lean toward the magnet style. I know that Hot Toys has found that those just work very, very well. They're very user-friendly, and you don't tend to have as many issues. You go, that's what's been great about Hot Toys is they're looking ahead, going, how can we make this easiest for them? So that's what they do. The other thing I like about the backpack, though, is the repair job.
Beautiful.
Is the repair job.
I'm trying to remember. Was that repair job from when Han hit it, or was it from when Mando hit it?
Oh boy! You know, I've always gone with that slash was from the Vibro.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to take a pause in the show. We're going to go watch a few episodes, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
No.
We'll be right back. Now, everyone out there, I'm going to answer a few questions up top so that we can maybe get to some more figures. First, a lot of these are prototypes. So Guy, again, here is using... Guy and Terry are using their years and years and years of 6-scale knowledge to hopefully make an educated guess.
Yeah.
But again, they are prototypes. And 2, we cannot move any of the items on the show floor. So we will not be moving any of the items on the show floor to be for scale and for whatever other reason someone may be asking. Guy, the next thing people want to see that I don't know if we have seen is can we spend maybe a quick second, a little bit more time on Bo-Katan?
On Bo-Katan, yes.
Please, can we? Yeah.
We're going to have Sam. Please. Sam, do you want to go around and show the back of the figure first? All right, so I love his nod when he does that. As you can see, the Bo-Katan is going to come with the dynamic stand, which makes sense for someone with a flight pack. This is also showing all of the detail in her 2 side arms and the buckle clasps and all of the leather on there. I love how the armament goes over the boot.
The jetpack is amazing.
And the jetpack is fantastic. Cool. You're seeing, again, that nice look, that tight detail on the back of the hair as well. The base itself, you see, has that railing and the light. That can come off, and you could spin it and have it be on the back here. So she would be standing in front of it or behind it, or you don't have it on there at all. So there are a lot of display options with that, but you just see the look of the detail, particularly here now that Sam is on the back. You do see that crisscrossed stitching of the elbow.
I've got to say that when this character was announced and when I first saw the figure on both of those occasions, I just lost my mind. I've loved watching Bo-Katan's story, how her character has evolved since the Clone Wars episodes when she was small and then fighting against Maul, her growth to become, basically Queen of Mandalore, I suppose. But I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes next.
Where they go with her.
Yeah.
You've got her emblems that are, of course, on her helmet, but it also carries over onto the shoulder pauldrons, and you do see that wear and scratch and dent and work that comes with that stern look. What I think is another fantastic thing is the actress that voiced it then, of course, now does it in the live action. And so it's a very seamless transition between the two. I'm not sure Bo-Katan is much of a smiler. So I like that. I like that kind of determined gaze.
I feel like with Bo-Katan, if she's smiling at you, you should probably be changing your underwear.
You might want to step to the left a few steps.
Yeah, if she's smiling at you, it's already too late.
It's over.
Yeah.
Now, Guy.
Yes.
We have so many other figures. We did have someone ask a little earlier if we could please see the artillery trooper.
The artillery trooper, yes. Let's walk over to artillery trooper, or mortar trooper, as they have been told to.
Look how awesome that looks on that.
It's like as soon as you saw that artillery trooper in the show, you're like, oh, that's going to be a hot toy.
Oh yeah.
Yes, on this one here, we hope you're getting the color well. This does have a deep orange to it that you see. All right, on that color, that very deep, almost mustard yellow that is on there. Those are the green lens that it has on the eyes. We're going to have Sam kind of pan around to the side so you can see the pauldron there and the stitching on that.
Who doesn't love pauldrons? I mean, it's just such a great.
I'm always a big fan of the pauldrons on that one there. I love that there's the beat and the wear on these. This is, again, not his first mission. Down on the shoes, we get that dirt and the wear as well. But since we're there, let's take a look at a brand new weapon that we've not seen before in figures. And that would be the mortar cannon. Yes, in 6 scale, we haven't seen this guy here. I don't know that I should look down the barrel. I was just about to put my eyeball right toward the barrel, and I'm thinking, I've been told before or heard somewhere, that's not a good idea. So I am not going to do that, but it's a great accessory to come with. The pack that he has does, of course, also have the incredible detail on it as well. Troopers, building trooper armies is something I love doing. I usually hit 2, 3, 4. You never quite know how many I'm going to click on the troopers, but this is definitely one I want a couple of because I like the look and all.
Typically, this is the point in the show about an hour in where we'd be wrapping up, but I think we're going to be, we've chosen for this particular show to go about another 30 minutes longer than we typically do. So, we've got another half an hour left of questions and requests from all of you out there. So keep feeding them to Paul, and we're just going to keep bringing you more and more.
Paul, tell me what you'd like to look at.
Yeah, so I think that, again, Guy, I hate making you have to bounce back and forth between the light side and the dark side. I know that can be very confusing.
Make him bounce.
So, people want to take a little closer look at the newly announced Grogu set by Hot Toys.
The Grogu set by Hot Toys is so fun. I love it. I have just learned that this will be the first 6 scale figure pack that my mother is going to be purchasing. Now, that's not to say she hasn't bought a 6 scale before, but those have been ones she bought for me. This will be a keeper for her. Okay, so we do have 3 versions of him, as well as some of the other creatures that exist in the Star Wars world. We have our one-eyed frog here, done with a glossy paint like that, so it has that wet amphibian look to it. The detail on the hair on our cat is spectacular. And I know Terry was one that you know a lot about these guys.
I've actually known the kitty as a loath cat, but I understand that it has a different name now that's meant to be more all-encompassing and to basically serve to disperse that cat throughout the galaxy, not just limiting it to the planet of Lothal. So this, do you remember exactly what that name is, Guy? Because it's escaping me right now.
You know what? Off the top of my head, I just now forgot myself because I remember I had said, "Oh, and look at the such and such cat," and you went, "You mean the?" And that's when we knew that it had changed.
Yeah. And there was a fight, and then blood flew. And,
and there was. I tell you, Terry's got a left hook like nobody's business.
I need to point out, Guy, I'm noticing here for the first time, and maybe you've mentioned it, and maybe it's been mentioned elsewhere. But this appears to be the upgraded version of the pram built by Queel after the original was destroyed and left in a dumpster.
Exactly.
So I think this is the only way that you, at this point, as far as I know, this is the only way that you can get this pram. Am I correct?
It is. It is correct. Yeah. The only other time we've seen the pram is it's called a loath cat and a Sorgan frog.
Oh, it is a loath cat.
It is a loath cat.
Okay. Or Tuca?
Or Tuca. Tuca is the other. I think Tuca is the overall encompassing name. Yes, this is a great way if you have the deluxe Beskar version of Boba. This would be the pram that you can now add to it to go with it. The only other time we've seen it is featured in that pram in the premium format figure by Sideshow.
But
as far as on our 6 scale,
line from the early toy commercials, collect them all.
Collect them all. Exactly. Does have the lid that you can put on there. Now, of course, we know that he had a lot of problems. That pram just kept getting crushed and destroyed, and this, that, and the other. So he was sometimes in a backpack. He was sometimes just put in a crate or cooler. I love the beat up design on that. I love the scratches and all. But I like that he's content. He's just happy to be. As long as he's by Mando, I think he's pretty happy. They are their own unique
I've got a dog that's
clan.
like that.
Yeah, they have their own unique clan. There is a family element to that we saw in that final shot of that first episode where you went, these two are connected. I love that joyous little look. And every one of these expressions that we've seen on these guys is different.
That one looks great.
Now, Guy, I know you're having
too much fun?
A heck of a time there, but we have got to bounce over to someone who's maybe not so much a fan of this particular set. People really want to see the Dark Trooper, and then right after want to take a look at the man himself, Moff Gideon.
All right. All right. We want to stick with the 6 scales. We're going to go back over here to Dark Trooper and Moff Gideon. Now, I
just love that approach.
Yes. Dark Trooper, what I like about these guys here is that these are not people that have joined the Imperial Army. These are not men in suits. These are the robots. These are that kind of thing. These are droids. And that is shown on these as we see around the ankle, around the knee, the elbow, the wrists, that these are cylindrical moving aspects. These are quite robotic. And then around the waist in that piston style of design. These guys look like big linebackers. When we see them punching the door and things like that, or when we see them drop out of the ship for the first time, these are guys that come down with intent and purpose, or droids that come down with intent and purpose. This one here does have 2 light up features, one being in the head and the other being in the chest. All right, this is the prototype, of course, so we don't have anything lit here, but there are 2 light up features. Make sure to click the links that Paul and everybody is frantically trying to drop in there for you.
Don't tempt me, Frodo. That's not Star Wars.
Yes. No, but it is spectacular. Before I move to Gideon, Paul, do we have any other specific questions about this? One might be, is it die-cast? It is not.
That was the question, Guy. Thank you so much. Now, I know people do want to see the Moff Gideon 6 scale, but I think specifically they wanted to take a look at the incredible Moff Gideon PF.
The Moff Gideon PF, okay. This is one I really was hoping that you would ask me to take a look at, because not only is it an incredible piece to talk about, I have a few things I want to tell you that I forgot to tell you yesterday. I didn't forget. I wasn't allowed to tell you until now because it's just for you fans here in the group. Okay, so don't post it. No, I'm just kidding. You can post it. So definitely post it and tell your friends. But let's first take a look at that incredible sculpt, that gaze. When he pops out of that thing, having cut through with the Darksaber that we see in his right hand here, he's determined. This was a guy who knew exactly what he wanted. He knew exactly how to get it, and no one and nothing was going to stand in his way. And we saw that throughout the episode. Now, moving down a little bit, and I am going to add a little bit of extra light to it. When we look at what I'm going to call his under uniform, that is under the armor, that is not cloth. That is a sculpted and painted. Okay. Now this is mixed media. The cape is going to be soft good, but the rest is all sculpted and done.
But look at the texture in that sculpt, though. I mean, it really reads
exactly. It really reads as though it's real fabric on there. The next thing, what I like is that it does have that Imperial armament, that Imperial uniform. The dress uniform of somebody that's higher ranking. So high ranking that this guy even has the pinstriping down along the pants, along the arm, and around the belt. This is somebody who does add a little bit of flair and style to it as well. But then, as we talked about, he's going into battle getting exactly what he wants. So I'm not sure if he always wears his armament over at the shoulder pauldrons and the chest plate that we've seen in the Imperial, or if this was just his battle day. But nonetheless, I love that it's on there. Now,
I don't know that we've seen him without the armor.
We haven't seen him without the armor, but we don't know what we're going to get. We just love that we're going to get the stories. I do like that he has a boot reminiscent of what we see in the Jedi. Most of the time when we have had an Imperial boot, they're a slick, sleek, one-piece, tight kind of riding boot. This has those straps going all over. All right.
That's an interesting choice.
A very, very interesting choice on it. And these have a bit of the very, very dark brown to black look on them. So this lets me know that the guy is a little bit different. I'm going to have Sam move to the side because the base is something that I loved. I loved him coming up out of a crashed TIE fighter. And I want to bring mention to the paint scheme on it and all of the cracked glassware and all. Okay, and these have been added on there. Okay, so they are not painted. Those are actual glass type panels on there.
That classic Imperial TIE fighter blue.
Exactly. That's something I wanted to bring to mention, was that classic coloring. The classic,
which not coincidentally is the color of the walls in the very room that I'm in right now.
I wonder if you picked that for that reason. Now, while we were back here, though, sorry, am I making Sam do the cardio today. We talked about that there is the soft good, and that is the cape itself. Okay, here on the back cape, you see that we have the trim on it, that red pin on it, as well as there's multiple types of different fabric. It does have a wire around, but notice the way in which it attaches. Okay, this wasn't tied around the neck or chained around the neck like we saw on Vader or we see on some of the others. This isn't something like a Jedi cloak where the hood kind of holds it on. This is its own unique style. He was very unique, very, very different. One last thing about the TIE fighter I want to point out is, and now that I have this extra light, I can hopefully do that for you, is the smashed front. Actually, you can see I can put my finger through. Okay, this is raised on here. Realism. But here is something that I did not mention yesterday. First up here, you see that he has the two little holes here. Well, those light up on the show, and they will light up on the premium format. Now, of course, you're like, oh, that's neat. So that lights up? Yes, but it has two light up features. The other light up feature would be this element right here.
Shut up and take my money.
Yes, the Darksaber will light up for you. All right. Now, we don't have it wired and ready to light here, but we did learn that it will be lighting, and you will be able to see that and ignite that thing up. While Sam is there, though, and if he needs me, I'm going to wait for his nod, that you see the great application of that crackling on the lower blade element that we have there. That even with it not lit, really shows off spectacularly. And then when lit is going to be even more, bringing it up to a whole other notch.
Thanks so much for revealing that, Guy. That really,
yes,
really
now remember, that is just for you here in Let Your Geek Side show and every single person you know.
Can I make a request that we go back over to the dark side? We got a really good look at all those figures from the front, but there are some elements behind them that I think we could probably stand to get a closer look at.
Yes, okay, take a look. There is our Gideon that we have on the 6th scale, also done in that unique cape that we talked about. Very, very different cape style on that. Now, let's take a look while he's back there at our Dark Trooper here. I'm going to kind of pivot the base here. Sam, can you get a shot through the knees? Okay, as we said, boom, okay, that large moving.
I love the fact that the paint apps are so black that it's almost like they just suck.
They're so black and glossy. You've seen on our show where I'll use a little polish cloth. This is definitely going to be a figure you're going to want to have your polish cloth so your fingerprints aren't on these guys. And if you want to create certain scenes, you're going to need to click quantity 2 and above to reenact those scenes. While Sam is back here, you're going to see the artillery stormtrooper. You can see his unique backpack, also with the that kind of mustard yellow color that I talked about, and he does have his mortar shells that are on the side of it. Okay,
that's a really slick look
as well. Next to him, we do have our scout trooper on the bike, and you and I were lucky enough to do a really deep dive into that figure on one of our episodes of Unsealed and Revealed. So if you want to see any bit more on that particular one, go check out that as well. Stormtrooper Commando here, now that we are in the back of this one here. This one here we've displayed with the E22 blaster, but he does have, of course, the standard Stormtrooper E11 blaster as well.
That E22 is really, really tight, and I was very, very sad that I don't have the Shore Trooper, the Hot Toys Shore Trooper that came with that. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about the notion of having that in my collection.
Exactly.
Kind of worth spending the money on that, even. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one to get.
We got about 10 minutes. We got about 10 minutes left here in the show, Guy.
You guys tell me what to go.
Where do we want to go next, Paul?
All right. I think let's see what everyone is saying here. I mean, everyone's also appreciated the both of you taking the time to look at all these incredible figures. I will say maybe something that we haven't looked at in detail today, Guy. Could we maybe take a look real quick at that Obi-Wan mythos?
The Obi-Wan mythos, yes. Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh.
Yes, I'm going to have... Is it because of the beard? You want to see all of the incredible beard sculpting?
It's all about the beard.
And beard sculpting that they've done. As one who's new to a beard, that being myself, I do love seeing it here. Now, this one here is our General Obi-Wan Kenobi mythos by Sideshow. That is the portrait that I'm going to say is the unhelmeted portrait. All right? Very stern with an upward turn to it. You have the wisps of hair going over the front and kind of that windswept look. He does have a second portrait that is the helmeted portrait. The lightsaber is that classic that we saw in New Hope. That was my favorite look of his sabers, but the ignited element of it is what Terry talked about with the kind of raw energy down toward the base and what we saw in some of the original artwork with the McQuarrie and some of the others there. I like that he has that armament over the clone armament as well, versus Anakin, who just kind of throws on some shoulder pads and dives into it. Obi-Wan seems to be a little bit more prepared, a little more, think a little bit more what he's going to do.
Anakin had some gauntlets, but yeah, this is
Yes,
just this
yeah.
is full on like
Yeah,
this is kind of a nice blend of his classic Clone Wars with the Tartakovsky Clone Wars
Exactly.
elements as well, and especially when you throw on that helmeted portrait, which is
Yes. Now, the cape on the back does have wire running through it, is fabric, and so you get to decide how it's going to look. If you look at that edge of it, you can see kind of the burned and the beaten. Again, not the first battle he's been in. We have
He's
there
been in
a little bit of
yeah.
mud. I think he had more than a couple
great.
battles. Sam, do you want to come over onto the side here? And we're going to take a look at just all of the unique folds that you have and how full that cape is. There. On the side, you got the super battle droid that he's cut this time. This is something that I love that they've added. This one here, and it is that smoke just having been done. As you can see, I'm going to add a little bit more light to go through it. That it does have some translucency to it. You have the deeper colors down there going up into that kind of white heat and the smoke on it. Great base, great look. He's wonderful. And he and Anakin are part of the Mythos line. Darth Maul and Emperor Palpatine, all of the Mythos line are all of the same scale. Okay, if you have the earlier pieces or if you're adding these ones, they are all going to be in the same scale. So they all partner together really, really well.
awesome.
Oh, that is beautiful. Now, everyone, just so you know, unfortunately, we've only got about 7 minutes left now. We do have some people that have joined us. Guy, they may have missed the thing that we showed right up top of the show. Can we take another quick look at those Clone Wars 6 scales, please?
Clone Wars 6 scales, let's go back. I'm going to have Sam turn around, and I'm happy to talk about these. So much about these is unique, new, and different. These are the 6 scale Clone Troopers show, Clone Wars show that we've seen.
Don't tease, guy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, hey, who knows where we're going to go with it? But what they had the ability to do is to go to those elements. They were given full access. Sideshow was given full access to all of the files to look through. So these are exact. These are identical to what's on the show, which is why the face sculpts, the hands, all of that have such a unique style. It's a brand new body on these. Okay, they are going to be double jointed at the elbow and knee. Now these are the prototypes, so I myself and the others, we've not exactly had an opportunity to play with them. Their accessories and things like that are still being worked out. I'm going to turn to the side. There's something about Anakin's portrait on the side. There's something about the way in which the nose has been sculpted on that because of the design of the show, and then going into the hair as well. You see Obi-Wan's saber to this. It's a great side shot of that one to let you know that the lightsabers are also new. This is more of a pointed end tip that we saw in the show as well. The costumes, all brand new, all new materials. You see that they also have that thinner. Thin, tall body. We do have these on the risers, but Anakin does stand taller than Obi-Wan, as of course needs to be for the show and for correct scale.
Those look absolutely stunning.
We're going to slowly spin those around here.
I'm kind of sensing another binge watch of the show in my future.
You know, Paul, you keep saying thank you as though I don't want to play with and talk about toys all day long. Because when you say, okay, that's a wrap, know that somebody is going to have to listen to me rattle on about toys for the rest of the day.
Well, typically on the show, we would be doing the Guess the Reveal competition, but we've opted not to do that today, and just to give you guys more time to ask questions about what's on the screen. So instead, what we're doing, we'll be actually revealing the figure without the Guess the Reveal part, right, Paul?
Yes, we have. We are back to form. The team here is back to form tomorrow with Unsealed and Revealed. Next Tuesday at 10, we have another episode of Unsealed Revealed, but we're not going to make you guess the reveal this time. I think we're just going to show it to you. So maybe if we can go ahead and do that now,
We are.
everyone.
Now,
All right, guys.
I don't know if you have been told what it is. I haven't. I learned this morning, hey, we're not doing a guess the reveal because we want to give them so many questions. So I'm just going to let you have to take a peek. So you're finding out the same time I am, folks. Let's take a look. Oh! Oh! Well, we are staying in the Star Wars galaxy, and we have Kylo Ren. That helmet alone, with the incredible lines and the artwork, and this is going to be a lot of fun to take a peek at. I am very excited to show him off. This is going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be Tuesday, 10 a.m. You're going to be here with me, right?
And that's going to be this going to be Tuesday, 10 a.m. Yeah, okay. That's 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is
Sideshow Standard Time.
Sideshow Standard
Time. We're going to call it right now. Yeah, let's introduce that bill into Congress right now.
Sideshow Standard Time, I believe. Yeah,
Sideshow Standard Time.
I think there's like 4 more signatures, and it's into law.
Oh, Guy, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you, everybody. And I'm sure that we could go on for hours and hours and hours, but there is so much programming ahead. I don't know if Sam is nodding yes to that or if he's beginning to pass out. It could be either. It could be either. He's done such incredible work to show you all of the booth. I've had the incredible joy to be on camera to show it to you, but all of the work that went into making this happen has been spectacular. So, Paul, what else is going on today, though? Because I've been so into this that I don't know if I remember everything coming up.
Man, we have quite the day left for Revenge of the 6th, everyone. Very shortly at noon, we have a 2-hour episode of Cobbled Cosplay coming up with 10 fans of Sideshow joining into play. They're playing for their own prize. They're their own champion. So that is from noon to about 2 o'clock. Right after that, we've got another episode of Steal the Deal, followed by a wrap-up of the do not miss Steal the Deal. No. Then we have a wrap-up of the entire day over at the Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group at side.show/geek group. Me and Autumn are going to wrap up the entire day. Of course, we're going to be talking about this. Maybe Guy Klender will join us and talk about some of his favorite pieces of the day. But yeah, that's what's going on today.
Oh, spectacular. And I'm so excited to see the fans do Cobbled Cosplay. I lucked out. I've had the opportunity a few times. If you're watching it, it's incredibly fun to watch. If you're competing and doing it, it is incredible how fast time moves. It's going to be great. That's fantastic. I'm looking so forward to seeing the fans do it. I've been waiting a long time to see them do it. So I will be watching.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Guy, and Paul. Thanks, Paul, as well. Before we go, I think I'm kind of curious to find out what everybody's favorite reveals were. What did you like the most that was shown at the show? Guy, I start with you. What's your favorite piece?
My favorite piece is it's definitely a throw between you and I. Of course, both love the 6th. It is going to be a toss-up between the Clone Wars and having something that is screen accurate like that to an animated show. That's such a new thing. And being new to the show, I'm a new fan of the show. You are a long-standing fan of the show, but that's probably one that really I got excited about. I had no idea something like that was coming. And the other is I love the bikes. I've loved the speeder bikes since we first saw them in Jedi. Now having the opportunity, and I love that this being a different style, again, like we talked about, that garage bike. So anytime I can get a vehicle, a creature, something like that, those are spectacular. And also to have to know that my mom is buying these, that she is getting her first. She's getting her first 6 scale. Which is super. I think it was this guy here that really pretty much sealed the deal. In that, or maybe she likes the frog. The frogs are very, very popular.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, my answer is not nearly as thorough as Guy's, but hands down, I love that General Grievous. I love him. It's so cool. It looks so great. I love someone who can just pull off a cape. You know,
I think the original release predates your. Yeah, I think the original release predates your position at Sideshow, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. I was still probably working at a comic shop, so here is my chance now. Now, of course, Terry. What about you? You've been here all week.
Oh, I think we talked about it already, but definitely Ahsoka Tano. absolutely, without a doubt, unquestionably, the Ahsoka Tano premium format figure is it takes home the prize for my favorite piece. That had me so excited that again I just rushed straight to the computer and made that. I can't even stop looking at it right now. Look at this. I mean, it's the dynamics of the pose, and the way that they just captured her expression. Her facial features are so spot on. I don't know that there's a more perfect representation of the character of Ahsoka Tano in existence in the collectibles world than what we're seeing right here today. So jazzed for it. Yeah, but that's definitely mine.
Oh, that's awesome. And of course, this entire, what was it, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all these incredible booth tours, they could not be done without the incredible team there. Sam, Alan, everyone, Chris, thank you guys all so much for putting on and doing this whole booth tour. And of course, Terry, you've been crushing it. It's so great to see like your and guys like natural enthusiasm for this. Because as I mentioned before, I am becoming more and more in love with Star Wars. So it's nice to be folded into the brotherhood with all of you.
Is Julian not there today, Guy? Is Julian there today?
No, he is not. He is off-world.
Is he? Okay.
Oh, he's off-world?
When you
Got him
see
behind
him,
me coming in
my thanks. I'm sure he put in some work in what we're seeing there today.
Yes,
so,
yes.
yeah, I'm sure.
Everybody who did, it's incredible. If you've seen many of the booths that Alan has created since joining Sideshow, each one just keeps topping the other, and you never know what you're going to get, but they are always absolutely spectacular. It's an honor for me to work with this team, to be able to be here with you guys, to get to show off this thing. I love having you guys as the fans get to tell me what to look at and hopefully answer as many questions. You know, many of these figures, Terry and I are going to be doing deep dives on Unsealed and Revealed, and I know Paul is going to be there having to handle questions those days too, but I'm happy to do it.
Can't wait. All right. Thanks again, Guy. And thanks everybody who tuned into the show today. Really grateful to have you here along for the ride. Again, we have much more content
I don't know
coming
what that
to you
says.
throughout the code. Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks everybody there. Hey, look at that. There he is, my fellow Silver Fox. So more content throughout the day today on Sideshow's multiple social media platforms. Also tune in with us on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to unseal and reveal that Kylo Ren figure. And until then, everybody, don't forget to let your geek side show.
Bye, everyone.